Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the World Unfiltered podcast, where we talk about what's going on in the world in an unfiltered way, with or without offense to friend or foe. In this episode, let's talk about streaming services. Yeah, do you have some strong feelings about that? How many streaming services can one human being subscribe to and still have money left over for food and I don't know, electricity and internet that you need in order to stream? Oh, it all becomes so expensive. There are so many, and I could start naming all of them. I don't know how many you have, but because there are so many, and there's so much content available on all of them, sometimes you may just sit there going, I don't know what to watch. Do I watch this? I don't know. And then maybe sometimes you'll start something, like it, don't like it. So trying to find out what content is out there so that you can choose wisely, and maybe look, sometimes maybe you cancel 3 of the services for, say, a month, and then you find out there's something good on them. And then at the end of that same month, you cancel 3 others and get the other 3 back. You always have to kind of try to navigate it, and it can become frustrating. But what I want to do is point you to, a new show that's available on Apple TV Plus, on the Apple TV streaming service, and hopefully the Apple TV Plus, because Apple TV is, it's a streaming device. Apple TV Plus is the streaming service. Okay, we won't get into all of that, but if you have Apple TV Plus, I don't know if you love it. I don't know if you've ever used it, but you should at least consider it, because there's some really good stuff on Apple TV Plus. I have really enjoyed it. However, if I'm being honest, there are a lot of times I will watch a show and then I'll kind of forget about Apple TV Plus. I'll kind of forget about it for a month or two. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'll get that email telling me that I was just charged the monthly fee. And I'm like, what am I doing? I just paid for 2 months and I did not use it one time. And I'm like, because it's not my first one to open, right? It's not, I may open Netflix or Hulu. There may be others that I open up first. And sometimes what gets opened first is what you watch from first, right? Come on, right? Isn't that how it works? So when I saw that, Apple TV Plus has a new show coming out, a new series, it may be time to open up that app, pull up that app, and let's see what's going on. So let's hear a little bit about this new show. This is how we're going to approach this. First, I'm going to grab some audio from NPR, their program Fresh Air. Now, if you do not subscribe to the Fresh Air podcast from NPR, you need to go look it up right now. That's Fresh Air from NPR, and they do a review of a new show on Apple TV Plus. What we're going to do is just listen to a little bit of it. I'm going to throw out some initial thoughts, and then I'm going to watch the first episode of this new show, possibly today or this evening. And then I'm going to run right back here to the podcast studio, and then we'll do another episode of The World Unfiltered, and I'll give you an unfiltered thought about it. Now, typically what I do with shows is I don't try to review them maybe in the typical way. I tend to get to the philosophical concepts in a show, the bigger message. And now this may be one of those shows I can come back and all I can say is, wow, it looked awesome. And the action was great. And I may not, maybe there won't be some deeper philosophical message, but typically there is. So I think that's what we will do. Here we'll just introduce the show. All right. I'll give you a little bit of a review, and then you'll have to go look up the rest from Fresh Air. You can listen to the rest of it. Now, they posted their review February the 21st, which is yesterday at 1:40 p.m. So I'm a little behind here. Now, I have seen the show. I've opened up the Apple Television, Apple TV Plus app, and I did see it, and I was like, oh, I want to watch that. And then I forgot about it until yesterday when I saw this review posted by NPR on their program, Fresh Air. Go subscribe to that. Now, I can't speak for you. I typically don't like hearing or reading or seeing a review until I watch the show. So in this case, I'm just grabbing the audio of this. I haven't even listened to it. I'm just going to listen to a little bit because I don't like reading a review. I don't even like trailers because they, in a sense, they kind of give me some kind of an idea, and I would rather I like going in blind. I like going in like, I don't even know what's going on here. I don't even know what this is about. I like that, right? Because that's more, I don't have any expectations. If you have certain expectations, in many cases, you're going to be let down. But if I have no expectation, I don't know what to expect, then it's discovery. It's new. It's fresh. So I like that. So I'm kind of violating a rule here because I don't want to hear. So, but we're not going to, obviously we're not going to play all of this, but I want to just try to build a little interest so that you will go grab, if you haven't subscribe to Apple TV Plus today, and then at least start watching this show. And then, well, you can tune back into this podcast and I'll be discussing it and we'll see. We'll just see. Right? Remember, the World Unfiltered podcast, I literally can talk about anything. So yesterday we're talking about, a metal band. And today we're talking about Apple TV Plus and the new show. And that new show, well, here is how NPR Fresh Air started talking about it just the other day.
This is Fresh Air. Today, Apple TV Plus premieres the first 3 episodes of its new 8-part drama series, Constellation, starring Noomi Rapace and Jonathan Banks. The remaining episodes of this science fiction story, in which Rapace plays an astronaut on an ill-fated space mission, will stream weekly. Our TV critic David Bianculli has seen all of them and has this review.
Now, before we listen to him start his review, a couple of things. It's an 8-part series. Now, I kind of love those, right? Because you're going to have a start, a middle, and an end. It's not going to take you 752 years. I kind of like that. It sounds like they're going to drop them weekly. I have no problem with that. Other people like to binge. I don't like to sit there for hour after hour after hour watching a show. I like to watch, give me an hour and then I'm done. Even if the next one is available, I'm probably going to wait to maybe tomorrow, the next day, maybe even next week. I just don't want to sit there for, 8, 10, 15, 20 hours. No. So I like it being 8 parts. That I'm much better with. And I like the fact that it's being dropped weekly. I think I like that. I know some of you are like, give me all 500 episodes and I'll sit there for the next 72 hours. Congratulations if you can do that. I can't. Now, this one is going to be about an ill-fated space mission. So we're going to have something taking place in space. Now, the one thing I love about the Apple TV shows, they all look amazing. You can tell that they have usually a pretty sizable budget. It looks good. So I'm looking forward. And, the picture quality on the Apple TV streaming device. Now, you remember, for Apple TV Plus, you don't necessarily need the Apple TV streaming device. You can subscribe to Apple TV Plus using whatever streaming device you're utilizing. But I like it on the Apple TV streaming device because I think that has far better picture quality. And yeah, that's me hitting the table there. That's me hitting the table. I think it has far better picture quality than the other streaming devices. I really do. So I can't wait to see what this looks like. It's going to probably look amazing. Ill-fated space mission. Okay, plenty of shows have utilized that basic template. So is this going to be just follow the long tradition of shows about ill-fated space missions? Or is there going to be a twist? Is there going to be a plot twist? Is there going to be a unique take on an old story? It doesn't necessarily need to be a unique take, but I'm curious. So what is this reviewer? How does he start off? This is what he says.
Constellation, the new drama series streaming on Apple TV Plus, starts in outer space with an astronaut struggling to survive and return safely to Earth after things go horribly wrong. This has long been familiar film territory, from the orbital collision in Apollo 13 and the deadly stowaway in Alien to the twisting perceptions of reality in Gravity. Constellation, created and written by former Doctor Who writer Peter Harness, borrows a bit from all of those. It's a very tricky story to follow, but in the end, and by the end, it's a very moving one.
Okay. All right. So it's It sounds, I like that. It's hard to follow. So I like that challenge. Okay, what makes it so hard to follow? Well, what am I not following? But in the end, it's a very moving one. Okay, that could be good. It could be emotional. Now, just remember, this reviewer has seen all of it. He's seen all 8 episodes. I'm going to go into it as not someone who's seen all 8. I'm going to approach it as I'm going to watch the first and then immediately turn on the microphone and talk about it. All right. So I am interested in that. All right. So I'm going to listen to just a little bit more of this. I don't want to give too much away. Now, if you want to hear the entire review, again, go to Fresh Air by NPR and you can listen to the rest. I want to hear a little bit more of what he has to say, but I did like, it's a little bit tricky to follow. I like a challenge. Now, is it tricky to follow because they're taking a unique twist, a kind of a new approach to a familiar story about an ill-fated space mission where there's an astronaut struggling to survive? Okay, we've seen that. So what's the hard to follow part? Is it because it's not in, they're doing it in a different order? Like, is it going to be, like, what's going to be the issue? It's not going to be necessarily in some kind of chronological or linear order. It's going to be a non-linear. Is that's going to be the approach? Is it because they're not giving you, they're keeping you in the dark and maybe trying to show what the character, like, instead of giving you kind of where you know everything that's going on, you're kind of put into the perspective of the character who doesn't understand everything's going on, and they keep you just as much in the dark as the character would be in real life. Are they going to approach it that way? Oh, I don't know. I've got questions. I want to go watch this right now. Why? Okay, bye. I gotta go. Okay, no. Okay, let's listen to a little bit more.
In Constellation, the International Space Station, with a handful of astronauts aboard, is in orbit when it collides with an unidentified object, crippling most of the onboard systems. That's the Apollo 13 part. An emergency evacuation leaves a single astronaut waiting behind to repair and pilot the craft, while time, space, and memory seem to shift, as does reality itself. That's what Sandra Bullock's astronaut went through in Gravity. And finally, there's something mysterious and otherworldly on board, something potentially lethal. So there's Alien, sort of.
All right, so it sounds like it may borrow from a lot of different concepts and bring them together. Now, some people hate that. Some people, it's a ripoff of this and this and this. But if it can take elements from other things, bring those elements together, you see those elements, but it puts those elements together in something unique and different and creative, then hey, sign me. What? I want to go watch this. All right. It sounds good. All right. So we're talking about Constellation, Apple TV Plus. It's streaming now. They're going to drop episodes weekly. And the first one is available. We are listening to, and I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore because they're already giving me away. They're giving away too much. No, la 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 la. No. I don't want any more. See, and I don't want to watch a trailer of it. I don't want to see the trailer. I want to go in. I already know too much. I know there's going to be a collision. So that already is taking that away. See, that's why, it already takes it away from me. I like when I watch something, I don't like to go into it like I think too many people go into things very jaded. I've seen a million television shows. I've seen a million movies. Well, I like to forget that it's a television show and that it's a movie. I want to feel like I'm in the spacecraft and I don't know what's going to happen. Boom, there's a collision. Okay, people are evacuating. Where did everyone go? I'm by myself. I like to put myself in the story, not some like sit back on the couch and go, well, I've seen this before. And everyone loves to do that. You're cheating yourself. Just let yourself go. Enter the story and just be in the story. Don't sit back judging it and criticizing it. Live it. Feel it, and then you will enjoy it more instead of being like, because I know you've seen a million shows. I know you've got a million shows available, but you rob yourself of an experience when you can just like, okay, What am I going to do tonight? Well, I'm sorry if you're calling me right now. I'm going to be away because I'm going to be in outer space, and I'm having an adventure in space. Like that. That's the way I want to approach it. So, Constellation. It's a new show on Apple TV Plus. 8 episodes in total. The first one is now available, and they're going to be releasing them, it sounds like, weekly. If you would like to hear a full review, currently, you can go to NPR Fresh Air and listen to how they reviewed it. But what you should do is subscribe to this podcast, because after I watch the first episode, hey, I'll be back. We'll talk about it, and we'll see. And we'll talk about it, well, in an unfiltered way, because this is the World Unfiltered Podcast, where we can talk about anything and everything. And today, I'm challenging you, if you don't have one, get a subscription to Apple TV Plus so that you can watch Constellation and follow along as I review at least the first episode. Maybe I'll do a review of all 8, and I will do my review in hopefully in the most spoiler-free way possible, but we will see. We'll make it fun. We'll make it an adventure in watching and an adventure in talking about it. So that is your episode of the World Unfiltered Podcast for today, Thursday, February the 22nd, 2024 at 11:04 a.m. Central Time. Thanks for listening.